You're stronger now than you ever been. You gotta leave now, it's time to catch the wind. You will climb up high and look through the clouds. And when you're feeling low, I know you'll bounce back. Oh, and just remember, I will be there for you, baby. Remember, there's nothing out there to get you, don't forget it. When life throws lemons, just hold me. Just hold me. Just hold me. Just hold me.
Thank you for joining me. Your host is Dominique Rivera, the Oracle of Apollo, and you're watching Divine Encounters. Woo! It's Wednesday, supernatural story time, and I am not going to be disappointing you today. But first, before we get into all of the meat and potatoes, make sure you have your high quality H2O, because you know this is not a passive viewing experience, but one where you're going to be able to play full out, learn something about yourself, and shift your energy. So if you're coming in great, you're going to be leaving greater. So make sure that you share this as well, because anytime that you share, you automatically enter to win a potential personal reading from me. Sunday night, I pick a winner every single Sunday, and I give you a reading here live on Divine Encounters on E360 TV. So to your health, wealth, and prosperity. Yes. And make sure if you love the vibe, you check out my free group, meetup.com/Awaken Philadelphia. I'm hosting group meditation, so this way you can build community and learn about yourself as well. Super excited to be here, everybody. So make sure you let me know in the comments who's all here. And let's see, we bring our guest out. We have Kayen, and he's going to talk about today hunches and heart's desires. So let's bring our guest out. Welcome, welcome.
Thank you. I can tell you, I want to say this too, Dominique. That 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 countdown was super cool. So I've never seen that before.
Oh, thank you. I added a little flair with the colors in the background too. I wanted you guys to feel like you're like behind the VIP rope. That's how I was feeling on that. I'm happy that you're here, and I would love for you to tell the audience at home just a little bit about you and what you do.
Yeah, so my name is Kian. I've lived a few lives during this lifetime, and the first lifetime that I had was playing football. I had the opportunity to play in the NFL, the National Football League, and ended up having a neck injury that quickly cut my career short. From there, I don't have I went from my 9-to-5 to quitting my 9-to-5 to doing what I love. I immediately went to doing what I loved after football got done. And that was showing other people how to create a extremely healthy physical body. Through time doing that, I eventually moved to Miami, Florida, where I was rediscovering myself, Kian outside of the identity of being the football player and the hometown hero. So in Miami, if any of the viewers have been to Miami, it's a wild time there, and you can get into a lot of fun, crazy, wild things, and I definitely did. And did a lot of self-discovery while in Miami. While there, I also had a job as a personal trainer, where I eventually quit and went all in on internal side of health, where I worked through a lot of my own digestive issues, gas, bloating, heartburn, those kinds of things. And I eventually segued into working with people with autoimmune conditions and other digestive disorders as well. So I went all in on that, had a program selling that, and eventually got to a point where I was like, you know what? A lot of these people that have these deep-rooted issues with their physical body, it's not stemming from just their physical body, but from some suppressed emotions. And so that's when I decided to go headfirst into helping people process and work through their deeper emotional things that was showing up and manifesting in their physical body. And after a while of doing that, I moved to Colombia and lived in a couple different places in South America. Have traveled around the world, and since more decided to focus on working with entrepreneurs and business owners on being able to reach their max potential and play at the highest level. So that's me.
Wow, I love that. I like how you said, "Hi, Sherry McQueen." I love how you said I've lived multiple lifetimes. And it's funny because I don't hear other people say that, but I say that very often. I feel like I have lived multiple lifetimes just, and it's interesting as you transition from these lifetimes faceted aspects of yourself, it's as if they just erase. I don't know if that happens for you, but it's almost like if it's just, it was there, but it doesn't hold any attachment to you. So it's just like, that's a whole different person. That's a whole, that person reacted different. They responded different. They healed different. They searched different. They sought different. So, but that's just me. That's just my thoughts on that. But
Absolutely, absolutely, 100%. I experienced the same thing.
that's really cool. And myself too. I discovered that and I told you a little bit about my story being disabled. And if you guys have been watching me from sometimes, you guys have heard me talk about this, seeking the within, the root causations of what is manifesting in your body to release that from within the body so that we can be whole. That's beautiful. I admire you for that. And thank you for being a light in the world and doing that at this time and bringing up that global collective consciousness. I appreciate you.
Absolutely. I wouldn't have done anything differently. I don't think I had the capacity.
Yes, I believe that too. Even with like a broken neck, I believe that. Thank you. Like, thank you for choosing in return, really, because even though spirit chooses all, not everybody chooses in return to bring back the light and bring back the love and seek and teach. That's massive. Oof, you got me in the heartstrings on that.
Mm.
You did. And I like to start every episode with a theme. Okay. So let's see what is the theme for today. And so that I say, what's good? Oh, wait, I was supposed to hit a transition. Mercury in retrograde, y'all. Let's rewind. Wait, this is live TV. That doesn't happen. What's good? Okay, so the card of the day is the Six of Voices. And here there's a woman, and she's kind of holding on to a little woman who's standing above some spikes here in the side. And here are the key prompts for this particular card. And the key prompts are transitions, help coming from unexpected places, quiet movement, successful expansion after a period of difficulty, crossing thresholds, changes, and realignment. That is so interesting. Perfect card for New Year's. And let's go into the meaning. The meaning here is distance covered in the hands of the muse. Ooh, let's see what she says.
Ooh.
She stands at the edge of her sanity, not knowing how to go any further, but knowing she needs to cross to the other side. Looking up at the heavens, she sends a silent prayer for help and is answered by a lightness that she hasn't felt for so long. The muse of difficult transitions lends a helping hand to those who seek solace and passage to new states of being, living and loving. Sometimes the way across the river is unclear and muddy. In these times, the muse asks us to be open to receiving help from wonderfully unexpected places. Trust the serendipity will find you. Look for kind gestures of beauty and keep seeking the bright waters over tomorrow's horizon. As the root and stir inside your soul, you will be moved in the direction of small miracles. And the little poem that this card has today is yet forward she crosses her passage of silence, laughter without mentions, pervasive steeping inner quiet, helped by kind intentions. Woo. Well, how are you feeling about this message of the day, Kian?
I think it's for me at least, it's a beautiful message of just when you feel like you've gone very far and pushing yourself past that limit, it's safe and okay just to go past that too. That's just what I've got from it. Right? I'm just like, I feel like I've gone so far. It's like, no, just keep going a little further, right? Like I've received so much. I've been playing so much. And it's like, just keep going a little further. Go past that. You're supported. You're supported.
I like that. For me, what stood out, what stands out for you guys at home in this message? Put it in the comment section below. For me, what stood out was identifying that we don't have to do it all ourselves and that people are serendipitously placed on our paths unbeknownst to us to assist us in something greater than we could have even thought. And it's something done with beauty and heart and good intentions. And for me, that's what stands out. Because I always feel like I'm a seeker myself, but I always feel that it is the most beautiful thing is to give of your heart and to give it with full heart and to give that full heart with the intention of not expecting anything in return, but just elevating the person that you're with, because you elevate when you elevate the people around you. So I feel that's very important. So that's what I got from that. I like that card. I feel like that was very in alignment for me too. Miss Cindy says that this card also resonated with her today. All right. Love it. Love, 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 love. Yay. Thank you guys for that. And make sure, I didn't say the angel blessing. Let me get a real quick right in here. The angel blessing is Angel Michael blessing the collective with travel. And I did accidentally pick 2 cards today for the blessing. And I laughed because it was both Angel Michael blessing the collective with travel. So you guys know when I see 2 of the same angel, it is I said what I said and I mean what I said. So make sure you're claiming that angel blessings there in the comment section below because I'm claiming it. You can take me anywhere you want, Spirit. I'm here for it. All the places. I am starving for life. Take me. No, I'm kidding. I love it. Love, love, love. All right. Thank you so much for your thoughts on that. Let's go ahead now. Everybody at home, we're going to do the 1-minute energy clearing because I love that we all start this off very positive, elevated, and full of energy so that we can give our attention to Kayen today, who's going to share with us, I'm sure, wonderful kernels of wisdom. And if you're really playing full out today, make sure you have your journal so that you can write down what is significant to you. So what I want to ask you, Kayen, and the audience at home is, where are you at energetically? Dano's claiming it. I know that's right. 1 being this is the least amount of energy I can have in my body. 10, this is the most amount of energy I'm raring to go. Where are you at now?
8.
Oh, I love it. That's a strong number.
8 comes up.
And for you guys at home, let me know in the comment section below now, where are you at energetically? I feel pretty good. I feel like I'm at a 9. I thought I was going to arrive today at like a 4 because I slept like 3 hours and this is my 3rd. It's been a wonderful and busy day. I'm not going to say long day because that's not a fair description, but it has been a busy day and it did start fairly early. And we have here Cindy at a 7. Weekly dose of Dano. Let's go. That's my buddy. He's at a 10. The cava was hitting. I know that cavity was hitting. Make sure you guys check out Weekly Dose of Dano tomorrow at 6 p.m. here on E360 TV. Sherry McQueen, she is at an 8. And Mr. Robert, you're really low today, friend. Let's see if we can shift that energy today. Make sure that you are setting some good intentions based on the information that we received for that card, Kayen. What do you think the intention setting should be? If that was the collective theme, what should our collective intention be for this 1-minute clearing?
Like travel to me feels extremely expansive, right? And I'm in Brazil right now, so I'm in it. But being open to stepping into new expansive opportunity, wherever that takes you. I think that's like a big intention for today is like getting in the energetic state to be able to receive that and then to be able to follow through with it when it's presented.
Whew, that sounds like harmony and balance to me. I'll take it. All right, everybody. You guys know, if this is your first time watching, go ahead, put your phone down. You don't have to look at us. I know we're beautiful, but don't worry. You don't have to look at us for the next 1 minute. And we're going to ring the bell. Your palms are going to go face up. And you can put them on your lap. If you're sitting, have your spine erect, feet flat on the ground. And if you're laying, just make sure you're not like in the fetal position, that your spine is just straight. And go ahead, close your eyes, let the bell ring, and we're going to start the 60 seconds. .60 seconds on the clock. Beautiful breath in, inviting all of that harmonic balance energy into your spirit, breathing in golden energy, and let it circulate through your entire system. On the exhale, naturally just allow whatever is meant to leave you to leave. Intend on what no longer serves you to be released from any part of the body, any point in time. And breathing in more luminous light to expand you. Nice soft exhale. And just feel your body relax and drop, and releasing the bags, the burdens, the stories, the programmings. The next inhale, make sure that you are solidifying to yourself that you are worth this and so much more. Bring gratitude into that heart space. Feel your field fully expand. Exhale. And finally, one more inhale. We're going to send this exhale down to the ground, down to the here and the now, so that we can be grounded. And we're going to bring our left and our right palm to touch one another in front of our heart space. And we're going to bow. Namaste. Gently opening your eyes, coming back to the here and the now. And please, at home, do not stand. You could be blissed out. And you're welcome if that's the case. So that might feel like a lightheadedness or a dizziness, a highness, a drunkenness. They're all in the same category. So please don't stand, as the vehicle may still be in motion. All right. And let me know in the comment section below, where are you at energetically from 1 to 10? 10 being the most, 1 being the least. Let me know in the comment section below. And where are you at, Kian? Because you're the man of the hour.
I'm in Rio de Janeiro in Brazil.
From 1 to 10, where are you at energetically?
Oh, I'm I was so excited to share it. I was like, yeah, but Brazil. 9.
Love it. So you went up 1 point?
Yeah.
1 point in 1 minute. We'll take it. That's a beautiful shift in 1 minute.
Mm-hmm.
I am, let's just say if I was at a bar, you would be flagging me right now. I'm like at 11. You're like, okay, Oracle, that is enough. No more energy for you today. Okay, let's see. Mr. Robert, where are you at now? And let's see what we have here. Miss Cindy, she went up 2 points because she was at a 7. She's at a 9. Kudos to you. Good job. Miss Sherry McQueen, she went up to 9. 9 party. Go ahead, y'all.
Come on, baby. Let's go.
I know that's right. At an 11. Let's crank it up to an 11. And then Mr. Robert, he's at a 5. So you went up 2 points, Robert. So you're now in the middle. Good job. Robert, I would recommend doing this a little bit more often for yourself when you're feeling less than a 5. Everybody, you can always come back to center at any point of the day, and it's beautiful. Right before you take a phone call or a meeting or you're about to go and work, it just takes 1 minute, and look how much you guys shifted. And Mr. Angelo, hey, Angelo, he is at a 7. Love that. The number of perfection. Wow, I am so high, like blissed out. I'm going to tell you guys what I'm feeling. So for me, somatically in my physical body, I am actually feeling like a vortex spinning above my head, boring into my third eye, pineal area. I feel expansion in my third eye, and I feel like going down my throat into my heart. And it's just like the pressure around me, and I actually feel it going down to my stomach. So it's still traveling down. If you felt anything hot, cold, tingling, pressure, anything unusual, or releasing, burping, crying, anything, let me know in the comment section below. I would like to know. So we're going to go into our segment now with Mr. Kian, and he's going to talk about, wait, that sounded odd, Mr. Kian. We're going to go in there, and he's going to talk all about his supernatural story time. So make sure you got the popcorn, you got all your loved ones next to you, because we're about to get in the weeds. So let's go. The thunder is hitting. So it's like the universe has just blessed us with the beginning. So you have a supernatural story time, Kian. I'm going to just enhance you here and I'm just going to let you rock and roll, okay?
Okay, perfect.
All right. So start from in the beginning. That's my best radio voice. Hold on. In the beginning.
In the beginning. Hmm. Well, when you say that, what comes up is my name. I don't think we can get any more fundamental than a name. And growing up, for some reason, I always resonated with the spelling. And I don't think I've shared this on a podcast before, so it's kind of cool. But I've always resonated with more of the spelling of Keon for my name. And it was really interesting. I have a friend who is very deep into spirituality. She's like, "Hey, I want to know what that means." And she dove into the name Kian with that spelling, and it goes all the way back in Persian times, and it stands for King of Kings. So that was really, really mind blowing to me because I had no idea about any of that. So for the sake of this, that was just a really incredible encounter for me to have with something greater than myself. So that's the first thing that comes up for me. Then I want to get into a story that was a shock to me that it happened. And for me, being an athlete my whole life and being very much in the realm of the physical world and my physical body, and almost being disconnected from my physical body a little bit with being an athlete and playing at the level that I did, with eating food and gaining a ton of weight and having to always push past pain. I wouldn't say I was necessarily divinely connected in a body type of way. And so when I got done playing, I decided to grow my hair out really long. And I'm sure if people look, you'll find I have some pictures of my hair really long. It just connected with my body a lot more in a gentle manner. And through that time, I was invited on a retreat by a really good friend of mine. His name's Graham Lechner. And he puts on a lot of different retreats, and he asked me to come and speak at it. And I was like, yeah, I'd absolutely love to, man. I was down in Miami at the time. The retreat was up in the Catskills. So I don't know if anybody's been to the Catskills Mountains, but they're very sacred. There's a lot of sacred ground there. And so I went out to New York and ended up at his retreat. And one night we had a crystal ceremony, and it was a very, very deep, intimate night with everybody there. There was probably about 15 people there in that setting. And people were going around just sharing some really, really deep emotional parts about their lives that they hadn't shared with anybody before. And so the energy was really flowing. Everybody there was really, really connected. And then a few people in the group just decided to leave. And there was 3 people that left, and nobody really knew where they were going. They kind of snuck out. And
The Irish goodbye.
yeah, right. Which that's my favorite. I love doing that. But so they just snuck out, and eventually I was like, "Oh, I wonder where they went." And so I got up when everybody was engaged in doing something else, and I followed them, and they were walking, and we were in this forest, this huge forest, and we're on this cliff where if you look down, there's a river, and it's probably like 30, 40 feet down, but it's 12 o'clock at night. Right there's trees everywhere. We're in this like little cabin, and 3 people that walked out, I just caught a glimpse of them as they were turning the corner and going deeper into the forest. And I'm like, what the heck what are they doing? So I decided to follow them, and they didn't know that I was following them. But they eventually ended up at this point in the forest where the trees cleared out, and it was right on the cliff looking down over the river, and the moon was just going beautifully in the spot. And then I heard one of them say, "Okay, this is the spot." And I was like, what are they doing? And so I walked up to them, and yeah, right. I was like, what's going on? And they're like, this is the spot. There's a really sacred spot here in this forest, and this is the place. And I mean, if you looked at it, it'd be like, oh my gosh, like, yeah, of course. It was the opening right over the cliff. The moon was coming down on it. And so one of the girls who's very, very deeply, intimately spiritual, she's like, okay, let's all hold hands. And they just welcomed me into the group. And so we all held hands. She's like, okay, everybody close your eyes, please. And we were in a circle. So we're holding hands in the circle. There's 4 of us. And she starts humming a small tune. All right. And then eventually the other girl in the group, there's one other guy and two girls. She starts humming too. And so they start humming, and like I could feel this energy really picking up in the group. And then they start to sing a little bit. And then the guy in the group almost had this really crazy interaction with that. And he kind of started to give these really like almost like ogre-ish like noises.
Oh,
Like,
okay.
ooh, 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 ooh,
Throat
ooh,
singing.
ooh. Right, yeah. Something like that. And then I was there and I was experiencing it and I was connecting. My body was really connecting with it and moving. But then all of a sudden, like super deep feeling that I needed to sing at like just a super like this it's incredibly deep volume where it was just like really projected. And I couldn't hold it anymore. And I just started to sing at the super like beautiful, um, almost like opera singing, but it wasn't really like the, "Oh," but it was like really holding the tune. And I don't know what was happening. This is just like flowing through my body. And we're all holding hands. And eventually mine got so powerful that they all and actually ended up stopping and putting their hands on me, around me. And my chest was shaking. And then I dropped to my knees, and one of them came up behind me and supported me from the back. And I'm just singing this beautiful tune. And I dropped to my knees, and I'm just kind of surrendered to my body and the experience, right? And we were just going in it. We were just in it, and they were just there. And I opened my eyes a little bit, and I was kind of observing the situation as it was happening in my body. And the guy was like, what the fuck is going on? And the girls were like just flowing with it, and they're just loving, they're just flowing with it, right? And eventually I just felt it all just like
Yeah.
it just left. And then I was already on my knees, and I just like fell to my elbows, and they all just like put their hands on me. And I just sat there. I just lay like almost like, you know, I was on my knees and my elbows on the ground, just staying in that position. And the guy was like, what was that? Like, what the heck was that? And one of the girls was like, I knew this was going to happen. And I was like, how did you know this is going to happen? She's like, I had a feeling. She's like, Kian, you don't right now understand the magnitude of the power that you have, but this is one of the beginning parts for you to really start to understand it. And I was just like, what the fuck just happened? Kind of like that was really interesting. But right there though, like that in itself was like, okay, there's something much more than just this physical world that's happening. And I'm obviously part of it. I can't explain it. I don't know the ins and outs of it, but there's something more at play here. So that was one of the most impactful experiences that I have personally had.
Wow, that sounds beautiful. And it sounds like, well, wait, how long ago was this?
This was 3 years ago.
And have you, I'm sure by now you've understood why that happened. Yes? No?
Maybe you have some greater insight into it.
Okay, because it sounds like, oof. Hold on, there's energy flowing through me. I make that face and sound a lot, so yeah. As the energy is flowing through me, it feels like you were actually okay. Hold on. Not we weren't trying to do all this today, but I guess we're going this way.
Let's go.
It feels like you actually opened a Kundalini. Wait, where was it? Where did you say that was at?
The
Where?
physical location?
Yeah.
In the Catskills Mountains in New York.
It feels like you were activating light language code. You actually gave attunements to everybody. Ooh, yes, you did. You gave attunements to everybody with that light language code that you were singing. That was an activation. I could feel the heart space. It's like there was grit in this, just like tearing apart. And then, yeah, I could feel that. And then you actually opened a Kundalini point inside of the Catskills Mountains. I can see like literally like a light beam, a circle light beam vortex open, and I see the shift ripple through the mountain itself. Have you ever looked in? I I don't even know how we're getting into this conversation right now. Have you ever looked into like galactics? Is my question. Has that ever been drawn to you?
No, no.
Oof.
Actually I saw it somewhere today. I saw that word
Oh,
today.
oh, what a coincidence today, huh? Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Okay, what word did you see? Would it have been Pleiadians?
Ugh, I saw galactic.
You saw
Saw galactic.
galactics. Okay.
Yeah.
So we're gonna use that as a synchronistic point today because that's like not a word. That's not the stop sign. That is not like a just a random word that is just there. You know what I mean? There's everything happens for a reason. I definitely don't believe in coincidences, but I do believe in vibrational alignment. And what I feel here is that you are part of something greater. And I would look into Pleiades as part of a like the galactics and see if that resonates with you to learn about them because I feel like there's something in there for you.
You said Pleiades?
Pleiadians
Oh, Cleidians.
with
How
a
do you can you
P.
spell that? Oh,
Yeah, I will. Yep. I will
yeah,
put it in the comments.
cool.
Pleiadians. Yes, I do feel that for you strongly. And it looks beautiful what I'm seeing. I wish I could like take things out of my mind and give it to you guys. Cuz it looks so cinematic. But yeah, I feel that for you. You had a lot of heart healing that day. That's beautiful. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I don't that literally just like came up. I haven't shared that story in I don't know how long. I completely forgot about it to be honest with you. So I'm really glad it came out in this space.
Well, I'm glad too. It was spirit was working through you like, okay, we got to share this so we can see the synchronicities and the synchronicities don't just stop at both of us wearing gray.
Mm. Ooh, yeah, absolutely. And you know what too? I just think you asked me that question, why do I believe that it happened? And it's almost like these little I get these little things that happen every once in a while where it's like, hey, there is this something more. There is this something more. Just as little reminders for me uh, to be able to stay connected. Because I would consider myself very grounded, um, you know, earth based, like
Yeah.
in understanding how things work here. But I wouldn't say I'm like overly connected consciously to the mystical space, right? So I feel like I had these experiences like that happen, maybe not to that magnitude, but little things that are just like, hey, there is this, there is this, there is this, as like little kind of reminders to be like, hey, keep
We're
tapping into
here.
this. Yeah, we're
Yeah.
here. Yeah.
That's beautiful. And every time I see a synchronistic event, I don't ever think of it as um just something small. It's always the vibrational flow. It's telling me that I'm doing something that I'm calibrating to and aligning with that this is why it's being shown to me. So I like to take that as okay, you're doing good, girl. So give yourself
Mm.
a little bit more credit.
Yes.
Don't be so hard on yourself. You got this. That's what I feel like for that. It's
Mm.
interesting because you've been to so many places. So I had so many questions about that. So when you go to these places, are you energetically connecting to any of these other places that you've been to, or is this something you're looking at them with just like a regular eyes, or are you seeing them with your inner eye? Like what's happening in these places?
Mm. That's a great question. You know, it may be my inner eye, but I just follow it as if I don't know that this I just follow it, right? I'm not sure if I like fully know the distinction between the two for
Mm-hmm.
all decisions that I make. But regardless, there's a decision that's being made. And there's a pull to somewhere, wherever I go. Um, so I'd like to get to think based off of looking back at my life and the place that I'm in now that I am incredibly guided. Uh, but I don't know if I can necessarily describe the way that I get to each decision as being like this divine decision, but more so just like these consistent little hunches that it keeps creeping back and synchronicities that happen to get me to make the decision to go. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
So let's talk about these little hunches. You want to share a little bit about that?
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Like a big one, for example, I was in Brazil the whole first half of 2021, and I ended up overstaying my visa, and I tried to come back. And so on my way back to Brazil, I was reading. I had some friends that were in Europe, and they're like, "Hey, dude, you should totally come. We're going to Portugal first. We'd love for you to come." I'm like, "No, I'm going to Brazil." And so, actually, on my flight to Brazil, I was reading this book about American history, and then on the first page that I opened up to, it was the Americans exploring to Portugal for trade. I'm like, okay, that was really weird. And it was right after I had a conversation with some of my buddies about going there, and I was like, okay, whatever. I'm just gonna keep going, and kept reading, and then I get to Brazil, and I get rejected at the border.
Oh no.
They're like, hey, you actually over visa, and I was like, no way, are you serious? They're like, yeah. So I'm like, well, there's no way of me going to be able to get into Brazil, so I guess I just got to book this flight to Europe. And so then I just did it. So now it's like I'm not needing as many signs to confirm, maybe like one or two, and now I'm like, okay. And I've built up this confidence in myself to be able just to make these decisions. I've lived in different places around the world, so I've flexed that muscle and built it up. And so now it's almost become part of my life of just seeing these little signs like that. That's just how I see now. Like I'm aware of when things happen and the frequency in which they do, and then I listen, and then I give a space to it, and if it continues to push me in that direction or not, and then that's how I make a lot of decisions, right? So now it's like I don't even think of some of these synchronicities as being like mystical, because I just see them as part of my experience.
Yes,
Right?
exactly.
It's just part of my experience now.
I understand that. So it's because, we label that supernatural, but it is natural and it's super,
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
but it is part of all that is within us. It is unity energy. So that's beautiful. Yeah. How do you feel like this information comes to you? Like, is there like a sensation, or does it feel like you're
Mm.
hyper focused on that aspect? Is it highlighted to some capacity?
I just feel really open. I feel really open, and in the times when the greatest like it becomes really much easier for me to identify synchronicities faster is when I'm in an open place, right? When I'm in a place of like surviving, and I'm in a place of
Mm.
having to worry about baseline needs, and I can't get out of that space of like having to move, go, survive, make things happen. It's a little more hazy. But when I can get into a space, especially through meditation, is incredible. But a space where I'm just like open to whatever comes, like that's when I'm able to really get in touch with it. So really making a decision to be in a place of being open to committing to what I think that I want, but being open to changing that and shifting that at all times. And I think that's a powerful way to be able to step into living an incredibly impactful powerful life, is being able to have the confidence to make a decision that you feel is right, but then still remaining open through that decision, right? Going in and looking at the signs leading up to it, and being able to follow all the way through. Or if there's something else that's saying, hey, let's kind of move off in a different direction, being able to do that and being flexible with it. So, but I guess it kind of depends on if you're somebody that is very good at being able to take action, right? Which I
Mm.
come from that camp, right? I've always been someone that's never really had an issue with taking action. I just needed to know
What
which direction to
direction?
go. There it is, right? Somebody pointed for me, I could shoot. I had never had an issue with that.
I understand.
So, right. So for me, it's learning to be able to be more open to seeing something else, because I can be really good at saying, hey, I'm going to commit to this. I'm just going to do it. I can make this happen. Right. So then for me, being open to saying, hey, maybe this thing that I'm pushing myself to do isn't really where I'm at. I know I can push myself to do it. I know I can force myself into that, but maybe there's something else that's pushing me, and it maybe in a different direction. But whereas if somebody comes from a camp that they have a difficult time being able to take action, and they have a harder time being able to really just like commit to what they want, then I'd probably say look for the signs and then be able just to like commit to that thing. Right. That would be more of my piece to it. So I guess it depends on the camp that you come from. But if you have a hard time taking action, right, being able just to be open, say I'm in an open space to receiving signs for direction, and then after you see it a few times, say, okay, here we go, this is it, and then give yourself permission just to go in on that. Just yeah.
Love it. I love that. You answered my question before I even asked, which was a practical application of how does one open themselves. But I think that's pretty perfect. Thank you for sharing that. I appreciate you. And for your story time today, I'm sure people will gain a lot from listening to your open heart story. So let's let everyone at home know how they can get a hold of you if they want you to be their coach.
Yeah, absolutely. So you can find me on my website, kianlogi.com. You can find me on Facebook, Kian Logi. You can see the spelling as it is a relatively complex name. And then you can also find me on Instagram, kian.logi, and my coaching account, _the genie.
I have to ask about the genie. What was the defining factor of owning this little title label for yourself?
Yeah. I think we already discussed this, but this might be good for the audience. Where the genie comes from is I was sitting down with a good friend about 3 years ago, and she's an expert in business, and she's like, Kian, she's like, you got to have something more to your name. You got to have something that like a fun character added to it. I'm
Sure.
like, you know what? Yeah, absolutely. We're talking about kind of what I do for people and the process I take people through. She's like, well, you kind of grant wishes, and we were like, oh, genie, yeah. And so that's where it was born, the idea of it. And so
That's
as far as
that's fun.
yeah, right. And so as far as being able to own it, though, it took me about a year and a half to really like start to step into it, and then eventually I changed my Zoom picture, Zoom video conference app to the genie. So that's fun. And I started to do some of these smaller nuances where I just started to own it. Didn't really put it out there on social media yet, but just kind of started to play with it a little bit and feel it. And it just felt so fun, and it felt so exciting, and it felt so different from the way everybody else approaches this
Yeah.
space, and being a lot more of a serious thing. And I'm like, the genie brings such an incredibly fun undertone to it. It brings a little bit of mystery, and I'm a pretty mysterious person. So I think it described me very well in that way. And I'm also very fun. And so eventually I got to a point where I just slowly started to own it more and more and more. And now it's like it's all over my social
Now
media,
it's your brand.
and it's my brand. People call me the genie in all my testimonials. And so it's really growing and developing, and I'm excited to see where it gets, and what comes from it. But yeah, it's been really fun to have that.
That's really fun, and thank you for sharing that. And I feel like I had a similar story with becoming the Oracle. It took me 2 years, and then it was just like, no, this has to be your name. Like you're everything. You are inheriting this name. You are becoming this identity, and it took 2 years. So it's like a year and a half for you, 2 years for me, to step into it and go, okay, this is who I am. So I think that's really wonderful. So let's get into the question of the day because I have a hard question for you and for the audience at home. So let's bring it up. Alrighty. So the question here is, am I focusing more on what my life looks like than on what it feels like?
Mm. Mm.
And
Mm.
it is an everybody question. And if so, how do you identify that?
Mm. Mm.
Take your time. This is your show.
So you'd like me to answer?
Yes, please.
Okay. Yeah. Absolutely. Um, I think when things are really flowing and moving, it can be easy for me to get caught up in the beauty of all of it and seeing all of it, and knowing that I'm feeling good, but having the primary emphasis be on what I'm seeing. And sometimes it takes a setback, or it takes something that isn't desirable that I'm experiencing for me to really sink back into okay, what am I feeling? Because then it's apparent, right? Now it's not just me seeing a lot of awesome things that are happening and just going with the good feelings as if it's just kind of a default. But now there's a little kink in the chain, in a sense, which takes me back to how I'm feeling. All right. And so for right now in this season of life, I'm definitely in the feeling part in my body. And 2021 was a huge year for me. I traveled around a lot. I did a lot of really crazy, fun, wild things and put my body in a lot of stress. In my mind, I'm Superman, but my body's like, hey, dude, you're you got this human, right? And so I had, I had a few health things come up where just like, dude, let's ground a little bit. Let's get into a routine. Let's stay in one spot, and let's just really just like focus on the feeling that you're experiencing in your body and just process through anything that's there. So in this season, I'm definitely in a really big, how is my life feeling? Yeah, for sure.
Wow, that's beautiful and perfectly said. Thank you. And let's see what we have the audience at home saying. Hey, hooray for traveling. That's all we got. But I also feel like it's very important that we're focusing on what things feel like all the time. And what I mean by all the time is like when I'm making decisions to bring or create something into my life, if I'm going to put energy into it, I like to focus on what it feels like. Me personally, I'm a person, I don't use alarm clocks to wake up. And that's because I don't like to start the day stressed. And I feel like this kind of sound is just keying up all of my stress, and I'm waking up like, oh, I have so much to do. I'm already in go, go, go when my eyes are open. So for me, I have learned to put into place habits that feed into remaining grounded, remaining centered, remaining in my good joy feelings. And I know that I'm in balance because I just laugh all the time. And that just tells me that I'm sitting in that joy energy, in that high vibrational state, in a state where it's an elevated emotion and not just positive thinking. And that really tells me, okay, girl, you're doing the right things by you. And when I'm not focused on what those feelings are, I feel like you get obsessive over things, right? You start to go, well, if I have this debt I got to pay off, there's a deadline, then you start to get obsessed on how I'm going to make this money, and you lose that calibration. You start to try to manipulate your life instead of calibrating your life to the frequency that will honor what you're trying to create. So that's for me. That's what I wanted to share today. Thank you for listening.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you for sharing that.
All right. So we're going to go into our last segment of the night, which is the midweek collective energy check-in. Kayen, I have a beautiful masseuse right there in the green room. She's going to take real nice care of you until we bring you back out, but don't go nowhere. Cool. So we'll see you in a minute. And everybody at home, go ahead and tune in because we're going to see what the frequencies are or what the energies are for the rest of the week. Okay, so here's our first card of the evening. We have the Four of Fire: contentment, peace, and abundance, a happy home life, the successful completion of a project. I also feel like with this Four of Fire, because this is the Four of Wands in tarot, there's a completion here or a achievement is what I want to say. Some people could also be getting married because this card is also the card of marriages. So unions, happy unions. And so I love this is the beginning. So this is where we're coming out of. This is in the past card here. So we are coming out of this energy of, and we've gone through the holidays, so it can feel very calm and we could feel very filled. Now we have here in the position of how you should see yourself. Don't let your past hold you back. The South Node. South Node are the energies in astrology that represent our inner emotions, the untapped, unseen emotions, those shadow work, essentially. So this is saying whatever you left 2021, 2020 and beyond, leave it there. There's no need to bring these baggages, these programmings, these beliefs, this low energy. It's kind of like Why would you want to bring all of this garbage into your future? Do you really want to carry this energy into your future? So it's saying let it go. Don't make it label you. This is what I want to say. Don't make it label you. So what I mean by that is don't let it define you. Things happen in the past. Sometimes we get stuck on the why, but how about the what now? What do we do from this point moving forward? So let the past be the past. It is not coming back. It is a check that was cashed already, and all you have is that little paper. And what do we do with those little papers? They just go in the trash anyways, right? So here we go with the what you have learned or what you're learning. We are in a state of endless, boundless possibilities. I love this. This is saying anything can happen. Anything is possible. And most importantly, nothing is set in stone. The past does not write our future. Our actions is what create our future, is what creates the momentum for our future. Our intentions is what create the thoughts that feed the emotions, that feed the actions. So it's very important that you understand that you are an infinite being capable of anything and everything that your heart desires. So as long as you're willing to put in the work and ensure that it's in alignment with you and your purpose. The present circumstances. We have the Elder card. Move beyond ancestral patterns. Ancestral patterns, those people who have come before you. You actually have it easier than the people who have come before you if you think of your ancestors, all right? Especially in today's day and age. So it's saying move beyond that, move beyond the limited thinking, move beyond the limited programming, move beyond the outdated modes. That was them. So you don't have to keep what they valued. Doesn't mean that you also have to value it. You might hear your parents or your grandparents or your elders say, a woman doesn't XYZ, a man doesn't XYZ, insert label here, insert programming here. But if you don't find that valuable to yourself, it's okay to let that go. We are in a time where your life is created by you. And as long as you recognize that it is your life and not the life of your predecessors or the people who have come before you, rather, then there is no need to live up to their values because they're not your values. So do what feels right for your own values. So move beyond ancestral patterns, drinking, partying, poverty, illness. It is all in your hands because we have endless possibility. And here we have the rebirth card. This is saying we are letting the outdated go. And with all death and sacrifice is a new beginning. It is a sweetness. And there's a rebirth here. We see her holding a rabbit and a butterfly, a metamorphosis, leaping for change. And I love that the rabbit totem is here because the rabbit is an animal that copulates so frequently. It has a lot of offspring. So basically, it has a lot of value by doing that. So you are giving birth to many things in your life if you so willing to let go of the old patterning and step into you. And we have here the how this affects us. Yes, this is the right card. Harvest. If we apply ourselves, when we apply ourselves, recognizing anything is possible, allowing ourselves to make decisions that are heart-based, combining our intuition and our emotional state so that we can come from an empowered heart space, we can achieve a harvest here. So all of those seedlings, let me see if the light stops shining here. All of those little seedlings that you're putting into the ground, they're going to blossom into a beautiful harvest that you can then use, and it becomes practical. It becomes tangible, but we have to seek it, move through the excuses and the reasonings, and go ahead and sow the seeds that we desire. And here's our outcome card, the final card of the day. Here we have the man crying, and this is the swords, the 9 of swords. Now, I want you to know that he's upset laying in bed because these are the illusions of his mind. None of those swords can harm him because they're all placed very firmly on the wall. So to this, I want to say that the outcome, don't create an outcome in your mind that is making you believe you're going to fail. The only failure is not trying at all. Because even if you do something that doesn't work out for you, you're recalibrating to go to the place that's in more alignment for you and that's really meant for you to succeed. So I want to say, let this go and don't step into this energy. And we are being blessed now with Raphael blessing you with knowledge, removing illusions, and Angel Michael blessing the collective with daring. Step through the door, be who you're meant to be. This is the year of equal give and take, and you are worth it and deserving of it. And by golly, don't expect anything less. Speak it into existence. Speak it into existence. Feel it in your heart. Think it in your mind and put it into action. And that's the midweek collective energy check-in. Make sure you're claiming those angel blessings in that comment section below. All right, let's bring our guest back on. Kayen, thoughts?
That was a lot.
It was. Anything stand out?
I feel like I was processing through a lot. Like that was just a lot right there, you know? Like I'd be on one and I'd be like, oh shoot, there's another one, there's another one. But after filtering through the ending of a season and a rebirth, I'm really feeling that. Like big time. So I know that those weren't necessarily in order. I think the
Oh, that's okay.
New season was first, and then the rebirth I think was maybe like third or fourth. But those two were like really, really connected with me. I can feel that rebirth happening. I can feel I'm like getting squeezed out right now.
I understand that. And you know, I really like this because not only did we get that harvest card, but that rebirth card is actually the spring equinox card, which is also spring. Things are growing, they're blossoming. You know, there's all this potential in the air. Right now, sitting in this winter energy, it's a time for rest, reflection, and you know, the roots are taking hold under the ground, and we can't see them taking hold under the ground. We're not going to yank the plant out and go, oh, okay, look at that root growing. You know, let me just pop it back in there. It's a faith, it's a trust, and it's a continuation of taking action and making sure that we're tending to the gardens that we want to grow, because weeds and flowers can all grow within the same flower bed. But what are you tending to? Are we pulling out the weeds, the clutter, the illusions, the low energy emotions? And are we tending to these beautiful gardens, ensuring that the soil is nurtured? There's fertilizer in our garden. And the best thing, that when shit happens in our life, we turn it into fertilizer, and there it goes right into that garden to nurture the flowers that we're growing from it. So everything has value, I feel like, here. And I love that we're going into this time of achievement. For me, I felt like the elders card is what stood out, getting away from the patterns of my ancestors, because I feel like I am breaking a chain in my timeline, in my family history. I know I am positioned to break a chain in my family history. So for me, this really stands out and feels very strong. And it feels good to know that even though these people are long gone, that I still have power to change something for the future, for those people who are coming after me, since I'm only borrowing this time from the universe right now. Kian, do you want to drop anything off? You've come, you've shared your story. Is there any message you want to leave for the audience? We have a minute left.
Yeah. Is there a message that I would like to leave with the audience before I go? I think there's a beautiful dance between the spiritual world and the physical world. And if you come from one of those two areas where you may be more predominantly in the spiritual or more predominantly in the physical, I just highly recommend taking some time to dabble in the other one and spending a season really getting to know the other side, and being able to be more balanced in that way. So whichever one you come from, whichever camp, whether it's more of a spiritual place, exploring what it's like to be able to create success for yourself in the physical world, or if it's more of the physical world, being able to tap deeper into the divine, I think it's a really powerful thing to become more of a joyous person.
Yes, that is the key to life. Thank you, Kian. It was an honor having you. I'm going to pop you back in the back room. Thank you so very much for your time, love, and your energy. All right, everyone, let's close it off with my final thoughts con mucho amor. Do you or someone you know experience something supernatural that has left a positive impact on yourself or the lives of others? Want to share your story on our show? Please email Divine Encounters at e360tv.com, and together, let's create divine experiences. And now, the Oracle's final thoughts con mucho amor. Thank you, everybody, for joining me. It was an honor and a pleasure to be your hostess today. Remembering that the divine is within all of things around us. Take a step into the pool. Allow your eyes to open. Are those hunches, or are they your guides leading you to a far-off destinations where unknown stories are to be written and untold tales to be experienced? Follow your heart, because within it, all things lead to victory and joy. May you all go in love, light, and wisdom to know thyself, love thyself, and remember the divine always has your back. Ciao.
Everything is wrong, you feel like it's your fault. Just remember, I will be there for you, baby. Remember, there's nothing out there to get you, don't forget it. When life feels most, just hold on. Just hold on.